equations, right? Just look at what I'm doing. You are seeing it very well. Now, in the word equation is from the word equal, right? Equal. Now, when we say something is equal, it means it has a left-hand side and it has a right-hand side. So the left-hand side must be the same with the what? The right-hand side. So it is that balance now that makes us understand that this is what? Equal. So we have different types of equation. Like if you see this one here now, this one is called linear stroke simple word equation. We have what we call simultaneous equation. Then we have this one that is called quadratic word equation. And then we have polynomials for those who do advanced and additional mathematics. Now this quadratic equation, what is a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation that has the highest power of the unknown to be what? To be 2. Are you seeing it? Like if you see this one now, you are just seeing x. But this x, there's an invisible one on top. There is 1 here. There is also 1 on what? On top. But we don't normally write it. Because anything multiplied by 1 remains that thing. So there's no need of keep on writing 1x1, 1x1 all the time. No. But you should always know that there's an invisible one at the front. We call that coefficient, right? And there's an invisible one on top. That one on top is called power. Are you hearing me? So this one here is called coefficient, while this one here is called power. Another word for power is index. Index. And that's why in mathematics, there's a topic called indices. In what? Indices. Indices has to do with index, and that's why in that topic, it is all power. So a quadratic equation now is an equation that has, you can see that the unknown here, the highest power is what? Is 2. So when you see an equation that the highest power of x is 2, we call that a quadratic what? Equation. We call that what? A quadratic equation. Now, having known that, how do you solve a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation can be solved. There are about 4 methods we use to solve a quadratic equation. We have what we call factorization method. We have another method that is called completing the square method. Another method is called formula method. Another method is called graphical method. Those are the 4 methods, even though there are still more methods. Are you hearing me? Because now I have told you what an equation is. I have mentioned about 3 to 4 types of equation, and one of the type of equation is what? Quadratic equation. Another one is that one you see there, linear or simple word equation. And I've told you about quadratic equation, that in quadratic equation there are 4 ways of solving it. Are you hearing me? So now this question we have now, we are going to use factorization method. Using what? Factorization method. Now, look up. X squared minus 4x is equals to what? 21. Now, let me show you the standard way of arranging a quadratic equation before you solve. This is the standard way. Are you seeing it? Now, this is the standard way. Before you solve any quadratic equation, it must be arranged like this. If it's not arranged like this, your first task is to see how the equation can be what? Arranged like this. Now, once it's arranged like this, you can now what? Solve. Right? Ax squared. X, 2 is the power of x. And this one is the coefficient of what? X squared. Then we have the coefficient of what? X. And then this one, C, is called constant. That particular number that don't have alphabet attached to it is called a constant. And you must know that we have, like here now, we are using X. There are other equations that they use A, they use Y, they use B. Using letters of the English alphabet to represent unknown figures in mathematics, we call those letters variables. Are you hearing me? We call them what? Variables. So now, this is the equation now. How do we go about solving it? First of all, don't forget that you have to arrange it to be like what? Like this. That means 21 will cross the equation line. And once anything is crossing the equation line in mathematics, when plus crosses the equation line, it becomes what? It becomes minus. And when minus crosses the equation line, it becomes what? Plus. Just like every alphabet has an invisible one. The same thing. Once you don't see sign attached to a number, it has an invisible plus. It has what? An invisible plus. So we're going to move this 21 now. We're going to have x squared minus 4x minus 21 is equals to what? 0. Is equals to what? Is equals to 0. X squared minus 21 is equals to what? 0. Are you with me? Now, why do we call this factorization method? The word factorization is coming from the word factors. It's coming from the word what? Factors. Now, what are factors? What are factors? We have factors, we have multiples. What are factors? Are you asking me? What are factors? Now, in mathematics, factors, F-A-C-T-O-R, factors are numbers that can divide a given number without what? Remainder. For example, 6. What are the numbers that can divide 6 without a remainder? 2, 3, and what? 6. If you divide 6 by 2, what do you have? 3. If you divide 6 by 3, what do you have? 2. And if you divide 6 by 6, what do you have? 1. So those numbers can divide 6. They can break 6 down without what? A remainder. So since they can break 6 down without a remainder, they are the factors of what? Of 6. Are you hearing me? They are the factors of what? 6. So, although not all numbers are factors, because there are numbers we call prime numbers. Not all numbers have plenty factors. Yes. But all numbers definitely will have factors. But prime numbers are numbers that have only 2 factors. Itself and what? And 1. Examples of such numbers are numbers like 7. Can you divide 7 by 2? No. Can you divide 7 by 3? No. Can you divide 7 by 4? No. Can you divide 7 by 5? No. Can you divide 7 by 6? No. The only thing that can divide 7 is 1 and it's what? Itself. So those numbers that can only be divided by 1 or itself are called prime numbers. Are you hearing me? Or you to be hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing me? Because like I have defined factors, I have defined prime numbers. You should be able to know them and give example. So your assignment number 1 is that as you go home tonight, list all the prime numbers between 1 and what? 100. Are you hearing me? We have odd numbers too. What are odd numbers? Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided by what? 2. Any number, can you divide 7 by 2? No. Can you divide 9 by 2? No. Can you divide 11 by 2? No. Because in trying to divide those numbers by 2, you will definitely have a remainder. So numbers that cannot be divided by 2 are called odd numbers. Don't miss them all. They are called what? Odd numbers. Then